Welcome back to Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. We are your hostess with the mostesses. If I know I'm screwing it up, I just like lean into that curve.
That's my favorite one so far.
It's
like the remix.
There we go. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And today we are going to do something a wee bit different than what we've done in the past. Anyone who's listened to us or has seen any of our TikToks most likely will know that we're a little disappointed in the lack of booking in the women's division, like all around in AEW. And so we decided we can't really do anything about it, but we've decided to do something about it.
Well, we know that one of our subscribers and active listeners is for sure Tony Kahn. So, maybe.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, he never misses an episode. Always in that comment section. Oh, that reminds me. Everyone, if you could please like, subscribe, share, all that jazz, that would be great. This is the first time I've remembered to do that in like almost 2 years.
Yay.
But yes, we have put together a dream booking of a all women's pay-per-view for AEW.
Yes. This was so fun, by the way.
It was. This is 100% MJ's idea, and I'm so glad your brain was like, let's do this.
Well, let's see if Tony listens to us.
Right? Because I mean, I feel like we have some good suggestions for him. So
I am so stoked to see what you came up with, by the way. So I'm so curious, but I'm really excited.
So I keep going back and forth on, I think I'm going to be wild and do what I would do, because there's one match on that I have scheduled on here that like traditionally would not be a main event, but in my heart it should be. So
Okay. Now I kind of did something the same with my main event because I jumped ahead in a time loop for this. I was like, this would be like 4 to 6 months in the future, kind of a thing, because I'm like, then all of these things would make sense with still like working out like a storyline in my mind. So
yeah, some of mine have jumped ahead and others have not. So like there's no consistent timeline in mine.
Nice.
But so my opener would actually be Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa for the title. Like, because if you're not going on last, you should be going on first. And we forgot that, like, that blow off match. Like, she was the interim champion, and then there was that whole, so it's a natural slide in.
Totally.
And I'd love to see, like, imagine just the entrances, like, Toni Storm's whole like deranged thing, and then Thunder Rosa's like half shirt skull coming from like a great, like, perfect.
Yeah, and I love like the dichotomy of those two, because Thunder Rosa has like this badass theme and then like the fire and the face paint, and then Tony's is just over the top and the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yep. Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Do you want to go like opening match for opening match, or are we just going to run through our cards?
Oh, maybe alternating would be fun.
Okay.
You can kind of see how each one would go. Okay. So my opener is Athena versus Julia Hart for the TBS title.
That's a good one. That is a very good one. Yeah.
I was originally gonna do like a title for title type of a thing, like winner takes all, but I decided to stick to the plain TBS title, because I could definitely see Julia being women's Ring of Honor champion, but I think for Athena to really lock in how cool this legacy's been, I'd love to see her be Athena 2 belts.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I love Athena. I thought she was gonna get that belt back. I thought she was gonna be the one that was the one who took it off of not Julia Hart, off of Jade.
Jade. Me
Back
too.
back in the day last year, or maybe longer than that at this point.
Yeah. That was exactly when Athena debuted, I thought for sure that belt was gonna be hers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like this could be such a cool storyline with like I'm coming back for what I should have had. I'm like conquering both shows, like, and I'm gonna take out each and every one of you in the women's division. Like I have this whole thing for Athena like built out in my head. So
I like that. Yeah, I'm down for that. I guess, well, for my second match, I was gonna have Athena versus Chris Statlander for the ROH belt, women's belt. So
that's good. That's good.
yeah, because like I think their styles would go really well together.
Yes.
And they would put on one hell of a show.
Oh, I love that.
I would like to say how I picked my match card was I pulled up the AEW women's roster and I just went through and put matches that I'd like to see. It's that easy, Tony Khan. It's that easy.
You're gonna laugh. I did the same exact thing. So I literally put them all in a notepad on my phone. And then I was joking around with Sabrina. I'll show on camera for anybody that's listening. This is this is a napkin with Sharpie on it. Those are my match picks. And that's because I wrote it all out on my phone and then was like, I am gonna be using the Zoom feature on my phone, so I can't.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Whoops-a-daisies. Who would be, oh, and I think, so here's the thing, like with a lot of mine, I haven't decided winners of them because I'm just so excited for these matches to happen. I probably would have Toni Storm retain her belt, depending on like where Thunder Rosa was like when this match happened. Like if she had just come back, like, and then for Toni to retain, there would have to be like shenanigans involved, I think. But
yeah,
because you don't want to, I wouldn't want to like just like stunt Thunder Rosa. And all of these matches, by the way, would run at minimum, not including entrances, 13 minutes. At least. At least.
nice.
Because that's what they should be.
Right.
Period.
Period. Okay.
Who is your second match?
So 2023 in January, it started out with a bang with a street fight match that I loved. With Ruby Soho was in it, and I adore Ruby Soho. So I want to do my second match on the card will be and this is kind of planning out in the future for where I see this going. So it might not even necessarily be 4 months from now. It could be less than that, obviously. But Saraya and Anna Jay versus Ruby and Willow. Or sorry, wait. Yes, I said that correctly. I had to think about it. I loved when Ruby and Willow tagged together. So in this dream scenario, I just you can't see Sabrina right now if you're if you're listening to this, but you can see her nodding like yes, yes. She approves. Saraya and Anna Jay, I actually really like their chemistry together. I think it's cute everything they're doing with their backstage promos, and I love it. And I love like how they're quote unquote neglecting Ruby right now because I feel like it's the perfect setup for a Ruby face turn, which is what I've been wanting ever since she turned heel.
Yes.
I think Ruby's strong either way, but as a face, she's just always the underdog, it feels like, and I always just want to like rally for her. And so seeing her with Willow, who's like literally the ultimate baby face, most lovable person ever, and like having a whole story arc where they kind of like reunite their old tag team, which I love when those two tag together. And just Ruby kind of being like the bigger person, being like, hey, I messed up, you know, you're my friend, and like I went a little rogue, you know, but like I want to like do this thing with you and like do it right. And then I think it'd be so sick.
I 100% agree.
I did laugh thinking about this though, because I was building it out. After I built everything out, I was like, there's gonna be a lot of blood, and then of course I'm talking to you about this. Like a bloody street fight, you know?
Yeah, of course. So
go ahead. Go ahead.
There's something that I have started calling flame brain, which is because MJ said that we are like twin flames, and sometimes our brains are perfectly synced up. So I've started saying flame brain, and I have Willow and Ruby together as a team later on in my card. That's why I was just like, as soon as we started, I was like, don't yell flame brain. It won't make sense. Flame brain. Oh God, she wants them to set someone's brain on fire. That's an intense street fight.
Oh my God, that's funny. So I did strategically, so it's funny because right before Sabrina and I started filming, I was like, I didn't put him in any match order. And I was like, and then her dog Cheddar came up and like was distracting us for a second. And then I was like, I thought about it for a second, and then I assigned numbers based on a strategy. So I did strategically put this in the second slot because people always say that like the second slot is like one of the death slots, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so no one is gonna want to skip a street fight, a bloody badass street fight. And honestly, what I kind of wish they would do with pay-per-views is actually give a bathroom break. So I almost kind of, yeah, as a joke, I almost thought it'd be kind of funny to schedule in a bathroom break on a women's pay-per-view because people always use that excuse. Well, you know, the age-old sexist thing
have like a men's backstage promo and be like, this is your bathroom break.
And oh, that's just funny.
It's just like RJ wandering around the men's room or something.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny.
Going like bathroom break, or whatever RJ comes up with.
Oh, I love that. Or even like what would be cool is like an exclusive like AEW.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I feel like RJ is an honorary member of the women's division.
Sure, yeah. He's a wrestle ant already, so
it's true. It's true. So for my third match, I have Nyla Rose versus Tyra Valkyrie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like I just really want to see the two of them fisticuffs it up. Because again, like two women that'll have styles that'll go really well together. And I think I would definitely have Nyla win this.
Sure.
And there might be like a stipulation of like whoever wins this gets a title match in the future type deal.
Love that. That's sick. See, I really struggled because it's funny that you put those two together because those were two that I was like, I kind of want to give them like singles matches, but I don't know where to put them. And then you put them together and I was like, damn, I should have done that.
Yeah, because like I definitely wanted them on the card together, but I didn't necessarily want them as a tag team. So
yes, I love that. Okay. For this next match, this is a future hypothetical scenario where Toni has lost the belt and she is going against Mariah May, who we just got now from Stardom. So I love, I mean, of course, this is going to lead to them facing off eventually, no matter what, we all know. Mm-hmm. And so in this scenario, Mariah accidentally, you know, did something while the match was going on to distract Toni, and she ended up losing the belt. And so it's going to be this whole theatrical, like, you backstabbed me, you deceived me. It's going to be like a whole, I think it would be amazing.
Tears, I love you, don't make you.
And I think they could both, yeah, exactly. They could both bring the dramatics, and I think it would just be hysterically, I shouldn't say the word hysterical, but you know what I mean? It would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a fun match. And I think we will get that match eventually. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Kahn seems to be like leading there, but
yes, I think after like a bloody street fight, we'll need a little bit of comic relief, and I think this could be just like hilarious, but also entertaining as hell.
I agree with that. For my next one, I wanted to, Julia Hart still has her TBS belt, and I wanted to put her against like one of my faves who is also a little spooky, Penelope Ford. And I considered making it like a spooky themed match. And I was like, I don't necessarily want to do that. Like maybe have it a little different. So like the audience is like really dark and it's just like the rings lit up type.
Yeah.
Thing. And I think because Brody King would be at ringside with Julia and Kip Sabian would be at ringside with Penelope, and at some point there would be a hilarious interaction there where like because I just love everything that Kip Sabian does to like his facials and stuff. So there would definitely be like him basically kicking Brody King in the shins and running away and him following after him type of thing. And in this, again, I love Penelope Ford, so she is going to be beating Julia Hart due to the distraction, so that we can have match 2 later on.
Love it. That's good. I'm loving these so far. I'm not gonna lie. I want them to be real.
Right? Tony Khan.
We're killing this imaginary booking thing. I'm just saying.
Right. Hire us to book the women's division and then, actually put it on TV.
Yes. I'd love that.
Mm-hmm. Who do you got next?
Okay. For number 4, match 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one's going to be a doozy. It's a little paragraph on here.
Ooh.
So, I wanted to do something to showcase a lot of women at once. So if this is an opportunity where we can get as many women featured as possible, I wanted to do that. And in order to do that, I also called up some talent from OVW because they have been getting featured a lot on different Ring of Honors, different like being used as local talent and stuff for different AEW shows in general. So I thought it'd be fun to include them. And I'm a sucker for like the Royal Rumble. So this is going to be a casino battle royal, but with surprise entrance. So no one is going to be announced.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Or if people are announced, then it would be people, like Sheeta, Statlander, like a couple names and then, yeah. So, but most everybody would be a surprise. All right. So for this one, I've got Abaddon, I've got Diamante, I've got Emi Sakura, I've got Kira Hogan, Statlander, Layla Gray from OVW and AEW, Sheeta, I've got Marina Shafir, I've got Mercedes Martinez, I've got Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Riho, Serena Deeb, Ty Mello, Sky Blue, Holly J, Taya Valkyrie, and Freya the Slaya from OVW, with the final 20th entrant being Mercedes Moné.
And that right there is where we just lost Ray, if she is listening. She's just turned off the podcast and she went, no.
Yes. And then, yeah, Mercedes Moné would win the pop that she would get would be insane.
Yeah, definitely would. So, would it be the thing where you have to climb the ladder to get the chip? Is that what you're talking?
Yes.
Very nice. Yeah,
yes,
she does ladders well.
Yeah.
We've seen her in ladder matches before.
Ugh, I would love it.
Yeah, I think that would be an epic match. For sure. My next one. So, it would be Sky Blue versus Saraya. And we would lead there with the Julia Hart's like evil tentacles that she still has kind of in her. Like what I'm talking about. I'm not explaining this well. There's lots of finger weaving and stuff.
Yes.
But so what I would do is I would have that take root, but have it present differently in Sky Blue than in Julia Hart, and then have her start targeting Saraya, because Saraya's already like a natural spooky queen.
Yes.
So I feel like if you're looking to expand your spooky numbers, she's someone you would go after. Also, I'm now realizing that like I'm going to feature all the spooky ladies because clearly that's how I like to roll.
I love it. I wasn't even going to question it because I'm just like, yes, I'm eating this up. Please, more.
Clearly, this whole pay-per-view in my mind's taking place around Halloween. Based
There
on
you
what
go.
we're doing here. But and I think I might have Saraya survive this. So she doesn't get taken under yet in the spooky.
Okay.
But she like narrowly escapes.
In my head, I'm like excited about the idea of this possibly being an October pay-per-view. And in my head, I'm just like, what if it was called like Hell Hath No Fury?
I love that. That is amazing. God damn it, Tony Kahn.
Should
This
I
is a
copyright
gold
that real
mine.
quick? Do I need to trademark that?
Right? My God. I'm looking for my pen now so I can write that down to be the name of the episode. Found it.
Oh, nice. There you go.
There we go.
I really, Sky Blue gets a lot of criticism, and I think it's really unwarranted.
I 100% think that it's unwarranted. She's come a very long way. And like she wasn't bad when she started off. I think people give her a hard time because she's got a booty.
I agree, and she's just gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. Yeah, it frustrates me. I think she gets a lot of heat for no reason.
Yeah. Which in that regard, turning her heelish is definitely a smart way to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Like if people are gonna suck, let them boo for the right reasons.
Totally.
Who do you have up next?
So I did 5 matches. So
Okay.
for mine, this would be the grand finale. So for match 3, I explained that Toni Storm lost the belt because of Mariah May,
Mm-hmm.
and she lost it to Jamie Hayter, who is now the champion again. And she's going against Britt Baker, which we saw an
Mm-hmm.
awesome build for and tease multiple times, but it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it's going to be Hayter versus Britt for the belt.
Very nice. Who
And
do you have winning?
I have Britt winning this. And when Britt wins at the end, I have Thunder Rosa coming back.
Oh.
But I'm trying to figure out in my head how to pivot this so it doesn't take away from Thunder Rosa's return. But I think it would be really cool and also like kind of expand like the feud out a little bit more, like stretch it out a little bit more. If Mercedes Moné also came out at the end, she's like, no, I just won this fucking chip. I'm next in line for this. Don't you think that you can just come out of nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, I waited, I bide my time. I was at All In the crowd. Like I've been watching, like where, like just have it be this whole thing. And then it would be like a really awesome feud with Mercedes Moné and Thunder Rosa while
Yeah.
kind of like still having little like kind of like what we're seeing with Becky and Rhea, how every once in a while they'll have like backstage kind of things where they pass by each other and it's like that it's going to probably happen at Mania between those two. It's going to finally come to a head. That kind of a thing with Britt and Thunder Rosa. Like I didn't forget about that belt. I got my eye on the prize. I just got to take care of this little side thing first,
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
love that. That is great.
Thanks, lady.
I think it's funny because our main events have Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker in them, but mine's a little different. So
Okay.
my main event would be for a created women's tag belt, and it would be the final, like there would have been what the heck is it called?
Tournament.
Yeah, going on leading up to this. And the top 3 teams would be in a tables, ladders, and chairs match to determine the win. TLCs are my favorite, especially tag, because it's what really like solidified my love of wrestling. Edge, Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. So the teams would be Tay and Anna Jay, Willow and Ruby, and Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker.
Oh, so good. That's money right there.
Yeah. Now I keep going back and forth because like I feel like if you want to establish the belts like as strong right off the bat, it should be Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter that get them. But in my heart of hearts, I want Willow and Ruby to win.
I would love if Ruby and Willow. You know what's really funny? I almost did a tag match for a creation of tag belts in mine as well. Like I had that in the back of my head, and as I was like looking it out, I was just like, I have a lot going on here. But I love that. And I think like if Ruby and Willow won, they have such like this underdog like fighting spirit that I feel like that in and of itself could even elevate the belts.
Yeah, and I feel like leading up to the match, like there would be a lot hyped up back, like going back to the match, the street fight that they had where they were a team and like really making them look strong. And I loved Tay and Anna Jay as a team, and they are a very strong team as well. They've done like amazing stuff together. Obviously, this would be in a few months when Tay's back after having her baby, but
I know.
This was the first match that I wrote down. I knew immediately what I wanted it to be, and then I built everything else backwards. Like
nice.
So yeah, Tony Khan. Listen up, bro. You got lots of good material here. I won't even charge you a fee.
I mean, I would like a consultant fee if possible. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm just saying free tickets for the rest of our lives, but you know, that's not really a fee.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a given.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of money I would save.
Yeah. I've been to 3 AEW pay-per-views this year. I would really appreciate Can I get that comped? Can I get a reimbursement?
I'll take just like an even grand back, you know?
Totally. Oh my gosh. Dang, I'm like all like hyped right now, and then I'm gonna be really sad when we get off this call that it wasn't real. Like I'm on cloud 9, and I'm gonna be like, damn it wasn't real.
This is like a fever dream that we have come up with.
Damn, tables. You know what? I kind of like feel like I blinked because that was the thing that I was trying to think of. Like I wanted to have some fun matches in here and like really spice up the card. But the idea of having like a TLC match is sick. Like that's so good.
Yeah, whenever like, that's like 100% what I would do is like a booker, like especially starting off a belt's lineage, like that would be so epic. And I mean, the Dudleys aren't part of AEW, but the Hardys and Edge and Christian are. So you could even have like segments leading up to it where like they're like getting some like pointers or like ideas from the Hardys or Edge and Christian. Or Edge and Christian aren't like a unit right now, so you could approach them separately. Probably Tay and Anna would go to Christian because heel, and they're clearly going to be the heels of this. And like go about it that way. Yeah.
Oh my God. And it would be such good like fodder for Christian too, because he'd be like, I'm here to help the fatherless. He's like, clearly these women need my help.
Yep.
I just think that's so good.
Yeah, like, and Ed would just be like, oh my God. Yeah, I think Edge would probably help Willow and Ruby because you probably the Beth tie-in with Ruby. Like I think she was one of her trainers back at
nice.
WWE. So like there's like something to latch on there. And then the Hardys and Britt and Jamie Hayter. But like, I'm even as I'm saying this, I'm like, although honestly, like, I don't feel like they would need any help, but you know, as I said, just to like, hey, here's how you climb a ladder a little faster.
You know what's kind of cool? I like what you're saying because in my mind, I'm already thinking that like, how sick would it be if Ruby and Willow approached Adam Copeland and then as they were getting advice, Britt and Jamie walked up and like it really planted the seeds for a heel turn on their part because they're just he's like, I already agreed to help them kind of a thing. And then they're just like, you know what? It's fine. We'll do it ourselves anyway because we're still gonna win. We're the best. And like we didn't need you anyway. It would be like really like kind of be like that little sprinkle of like, ooh, that felt off. Is that gonna be something? And then it turns to like a cool heel turn where I could see those two beating the shit out of Willow and Ruby at the end of the match once they get the belts. Once the other ones get the belt.
Yeah. Oh. It would just be amazing because like looking through like the women's division, there's so many people that you could set up as tag teams to like and legitimate tag teams, not just thrown together. Sorry, Natty and TV Knox, not like that.
Yeah.
That you could have like a solid base. Oh, it'd be so good. But yeah, no.
God, I would love it. I've been screaming about tag belts forever in AEW for the women. It's time. You have so many people you're not doing anything with. Like it's gonna lead to like more discontent on the roster. Give people something to strive towards and give people time to make great stories and great matches.
Yeah. Not to completely snap us back into reality, but how do you feel about QT Marshall leaving AEW and his backstage role?
You know, it's funny as you said that, or as I was saying that, I was thinking about him because I think that I'm curious to see what direction AEW takes everything right now because if they're moving away from storyline driven things, which is like, you know how it is with the dirt sheets, that's the little mumblings and rumblings that we're hearing right now. But at the same time, like as much as I actually like him as a wrestler, and I really did not like QTV. I thought it was the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's honestly like, I hate saying that because I know there's a lot of talent that's wrapped up in that could be doing other things. And so it's not like to discredit anything they've done at all. It's just, it's like a good idea, but poor execution, I feel like.
QTV should have been a part of BTE and it should have stayed there. Or now it's BTDO, being the Dark Order. Like, that's where that should have gone. But
yeah,
it shouldn't have. I feel like they were like, oh, this was a part of Dark and Dark Elevation. We'll just put it on. We'll just put it on Dynamite, or no, I think it was usually Rampage. We don't need a women's match. We'll just put this there.
exactly. And I think that like, you know, with the Continental Classic right now, a lot of people are saying like, does this mean that, you know, it has such like New Japan type rules to that the way that the tournament's actually being run, and with everything kind of going on, everybody kind of is rumoring that Tony's going to start shifting things in a more like New Japan type direction with certain things. But I don't know. So it's interesting.
I'm not I feel like I'm not sure that Tony Khan knows what Tony Khan is doing at this point. Like,
yeah.
I had sent this to MJ 2 nights ago. I follow Cultaholic, and last year, like they did a poll. I think every poll everywhere that was done about Booker of the Year, Tony Khan won it all. This year, he's like dead last. And it's Triple H.
Yeah.
And like when you think about the stuff that, and deservedly so on Triple H's part, like yes, but that's a far fall from top of the list to the bottom, and like I'm really disappointed that I feel like it's deserved.
I I always like to think that like, will this kind of be like a snap back for him, you know? Like, not, I don't want to say, I guess snap back to reality sounds bad, you know, because he's not doing an awful job. I just think that like seeing like almost like how far we've fallen in that way, right? To go from Booker of the Year last year to now being essentially like the lowest there of the list of bookers in that poll you're referencing.
Yeah. And this is not to say like I still really enjoy AEW programming. Give that Orange Cassidy, his run this year, like obviously I love what Tony Khan is doing there. And it obviously the women's division, not great. The tag division has been not great, which is insane.
Yeah.
To start off too with such like the trios division, I feel like has been like a little up and down because like some weeks it feels like he's like really dialed into it and it'll go for a clip at like, yes, we're getting all these amazing trios things, love it, love it, love it. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to play with some of my other toys.
Yeah, I agree. I think somewhere with Forbidden Door and Double or Nothing, it feels like I'm a big AEW fan, so but it feels like somewhere around there. I remember being really worried because I'd already bought tickets to Double or Nothing, and I was like, "Where's the build? All the build for the matches is going to Forbidden Door right now," which was the following month in June, and I remember thinking like, and then that was also around the time that we knew that All In and All Out were going to be so close together too, and it was just kind of like, whoa, like it seems like so much to have on your plate that it's just not being thought through as well. You know, like I was actually a bit disappointed at Double or Nothing. I thought things on that card could have been better because Forbidden Door was just fucking amazing, you know? I was pleasantly surprised that All Out was so good because All In was also incredible. And so it didn't feel like either of those things took away from the other.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm hoping that means that Tony kind of like learned from, okay, like we took a lot away from Double or Nothing and applied it to Forbidden Door. But I definitely agree with you, and it's been frustrating because I feel like when I first started watching AEW, the women's division, the way that it was booked, the more time they got was part of the reason I wanted to tune in. And then I feel like WWE stepped up their game during that same time too. They were like, you know, because it's like they both companies, all the companies, they all watch each other, they see what they're all doing, and it felt like in my mind, Triple H probably saw what AEW was doing and was like, you know what, we need to like allocate more time to women, we need to do this, and it kind of like felt like their response to AEW doing that was great, and WWE like stepped it up in a lot of ways. But now it feels like AEW's taken a huge step back, and at the women's division, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think Triple H has always been a fan of women's wrestling, but also I don't think Vince McMahon watched other products.
Yeah.
Triple H, I think, does. I think at least as far as obviously some of the indies, because like he's watching like tapes or whatever that people are sending him clearly for some of these talents. I think he keeps an eye on New Japan, Stardom, Impact, and AEW, and probably NWA and M. It's not MLM.
MLW.
MLW. Thank you.
Yeah.
And MLMs, you know, he's really into MLMs. Just, and the one thing, honestly, I think what's probably kept Impact afloat is their women's division, and like the fact that for a long time that's what set them apart. Like if you wanted to watch women's wrestling, good women's wrestling, you would tune in there. And then WWE was just like, well, look at these ladies, they're doing some great stuff. And then Vince was like, meh.
I know.
Or not enough penis. Gotta work it in there somehow.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And yeah, it just makes, I just want AEW to get on the women's train again.
Agreed.
There's
I
room
mean,
on the train.
there is room on the train, and like seeing this, it almost felt like an experiment, right? Like doing this, like planning out matches. It's like we literally were just spitballing, like, you know how many people are on the roster, you know how stacked it is. But as I was making this list, I was like, damn, like we got her and we got her. It's like
Hmm?
people that we don't see as much as we should, and then so it's just, I'm not saying I forgot about them, but you just see, when you see this big list of amazing names and talents in front of you, it's just like, it's a stacked
Overwhelming.
roster. Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I was like, we need a badass battle royale to feature all these women, like
Mhm.
people who don't get the time, because I feel like a match like a battle royal is a great way to like spotlight people, and then I feel like it kind of sparks in people's brains ideas they didn't have for people, and like you see potential in people that you might have overlooked before.
Yeah, and one of the things that the Royal Rumble has been great at the past couple of years specifically are the feuds it starts within the Rumble, not just with like whoever's going to WrestleMania. And you can use that battle royal for exactly that.
Yeah. True.
And oh, it would just be beautiful. And so I made my list like 2 weeks ago, I think. Like I sat down one day when I was feeling really burned out from working on my lunch. I was just like, I'm gonna go to my happy place. Ate my soup and wrote out my match card. But it's funny because not haha funny. Since then, the Hardys have come out. Jeff has been more outspoken about this, but it was on Matt's podcast about how like he feels kind of like a ghost at AEW now. He felt that way in WWE, came into AEW, was really excited, and then they're not being used. And in my head, I'm like, well, you did have that whole DUI thing. That might have
Yeah,
something to do with it. But you know, even I feel like you could take older talent or talent that's been around the block, and loop them in ways of making them like advisors, have them do, because you're still giving them a storyline then, right? And people, at least according to Jeff Hardy, he just wants to feel like he's included and like in a storyline somehow.
sure.
So, you can also by having things with the women's division, do what you do with the women's division, usually Tony Khan, and make them like background side characters, and have some of the talent that you're not using in your locker room who are male do that same thing.
Exactly. What's interesting is like when I heard that quote from the Hardys, like I don't know if you've caught this, but like the last like couple months when Jeff's come out, he's kind of just been like, it hasn't been like for his entrance. Normally he makes like a big grandiose, like fun thing. And it just kind of feels like he's like, I'm here to get a paycheck, and like that's
Mhm.
not to take away from Jeff. I just feel like I don't see that same sparkle in him. Like, so I kind of wondered if something like that was going on.
Mhm.
Like it just feels like someone who has so much love and enthusiasm for something, like especially Jeff Hardy is an artist in
Yeah.
so many ways. And I feel like when you have that artistic mindset, you can't just bullshit it. You can't just have this fake like enthusiasm coming out. It's like you can't fake that. You're just authentic.
Yeah. Because we went from that like amazing match against oh
Darby?
no, with at the Hardy compound, like
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
theatrical
yeah.
one. Um, we went from that, and that's the last thing I can really remember the Hardys doing that was like Bamfy, like
Sure.
and that was so well received and so well done. And then Tony Khan was just like, "Hmm, well, that was fun."
Well, that whole thing got weird too because like I actually am a big Isaiah Cassidy fan, and like with the freaking Mona Vet
Honing.
thing, he was so over with that, and then they just let it die. Like there's so many hilarious things you could have done with that. It's like I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then Ethan Page, I wish I knew what happened behind scenes because then Ethan Page went down to ROH and he got freaking jacked. I don't know if you've seen him
Oh
lately.
yeah.
Yeah. He looks
We
crazy good.
I think we talked about him around Halloween. Like not on the podcast. I think like we were just like, holy shit, did you see Ethan Page?
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I love Ethan Page too. And it's like you have so much. I mean, I feel for Tony. I really do. I know we're not trying, we're neither you or I shitting on him, but it's just one of those things where we get frustrated because we're fans and we want to see it better and we want to see it like thrive more, and so it's frustrating, but like I don't know what I would do if I was him. He's got so much talent and it just feels like I'm trying to be optimistic with a lot of the revamping that they're talking about, that's going to lead to like good things and better things, but I'm waiting with my popcorn. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like I think he had a good idea in getting Ring of Honor in that like it was a place for his massive roster to go, right? And then to keep some of that ROH talent. But then it hasn't been executed. Like he needed to hire staff for
Yes.
it. Like he needs staff.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think he just tries to do it all himself. And I think he is learning that, like, yeah, the first year or two, possible. Now, not possible.
Agreed. And it's frustrating. I stayed after Collision the day before All Out. And honestly, as somebody who's watched cool like vintage matches in Ring of Honor and I actually really do want to get Honor Club so I can go back and like watch matches I missed in certain rivalries because I've seen a lot of just badass like ROH matches, but I want to just like I was thinking about starting up a series where I actually start from the beginning and just like watch every like Ring of Honor, like whatever's on there, from the beginning. I think that'd be pretty cool. But all that to say, like I feel like I'm always the one that's like pushing like positivity for AEW to the point that it probably drives people nuts. Um, because I love AEW so much, and so it genuinely hurts me when things don't get booked a certain way, and how much talent gets misutilized, or anyway, how much talent doesn't get utilized correctly. And yeah, and I think that watching that Ring of Honor, it pains me to say it was boring. And I've like Ring of Honor and boring are two words I would never in a million years associate with each other. Like Ring of Honor's just always been this badass legacy, and it just feels so lost that it's frustrating.
Yeah, that hurts my heart. It really does. Like I didn't often watch Ring of Honor. It's where I am in Pennsylvania. Like they would often have like it would be on like free TV. Sometimes my one friend, she had whatever, like, how you can get basically those bunny ears and it'll give you like whatever channels are around.
Yeah.
That's what she had. She's not a wrestling fan, but I went to her house one night for dinner and she had it on in the kitchen. I'm like, why are you watching Ring of Honor? And it was on mute. And she was like, sometimes I just like to look at the men.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
And I died laughing. But yeah, but like that, so usually when I was catching Ring of Honor, it was like at her house or like somewhere in the community. Like I wasn't necessarily putting it on. I don't even know what channel it would have been on. I didn't have bunny ears, so
yeah, for sure.
But I've seen clips and like I know so many of the storylines because they're like historic almost, like legendary storylines that have come out of Ring of Honor. I mean, NXT really like gutted Ring of Honor there for a long time. So
Yep. Agreed.
And now I feel like it's a pretty even split, like those people are between AEW and WWE for the most part. You do have some who aren't wrestling anymore or are an Impact, but for the most part, they're in one of those two camps.
For sure.
Well, we'll be sending this episode to Tony Kahn. Be sure to @ him, everyone, just constantly.
Should we put it on a videotape, like put it on a VHS and just mail it to him?
We should. I think I have a VHS player around here. I don't know how to get this onto a VHS, but
attention, Tony Kahn.
Right. I can put on a flash drive and you know what I'll do? I'll just like rip everything out of an old VHS and put the
filling in there.
Yeah, like, and put that in there and be like, Ben.
It's so funny because modern day is gonna be like, this is a virus. He's gonna be like, I'm not putting this in anything.
Right, and promise it's not a virus. Definitely a virus.
It is funny how freely we used to just put like flash drives in and not really question it. Now it's like, you're gonna get a fucking virus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we also used to download shit off of LimeWire and Napster and stuff and just crash computers.
I got a meme I'm gonna send you about that after this.
I remember looking up on, I think it was LimeWire or whatever it was I was using at the time, because I was downloading WWE theme songs. And
Yeah,
I remember looking it up and like there was just like, because it would just give me everything with like WWE in it. And there would be so
sure.
many pictures that you could download of like nip slips. And I was like, are you serious? I remember just being pissed. Just pissed.
Okay, speaking of being pissed, there was a photo of Statlander and she's like leaning out of the ring. It was posted within the last week. And you can see, like, she's in a white shirt and you can see her nipples.
Okay.
And then so the top comment on that post was, I'll admit it, I zoomed in. And then, like, when I saw it, 70 people had liked that comment. And I was just like, what the fuck, dude?
I
Instant. And it's one of those things, like, I didn't send it to you because I was just, it's like, I'm not trying to piss Sabrina off. But, like, while we're literally on the topic, I was just like, it's so fucking, like, and right now we're having like a whole thing on Wrestle Talk too, where we're talking about like positivity and like on a lot of creators are talking about how women content creators get treated like shit, and a lot of people don't see it. Then there's certain allies that do and they speak up for us and they help, but then there's other people that are like, I don't see it. What are you talking about? And then it's like I see 70 people and then this jackass that made this creepy comment.
mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
The the comments about women on like whether it's WWE, whether it's AEW, all these promotions, it's so disgusting. Like the stuff that people will say. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Like, and it's one of those things because if female content creators were putting out videos talking about men, like male wrestlers that way, it would be
Sure.
considered comedy, honestly, because of like how absurd it would seem like to most people.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes in my brain, I'm decide I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to like screw up my algorithm or like attract those sorts of fans, but or views. But like I would kind of just love to like do like weird thirst trap, weird saying things, like I can't even think of something right now, but like just something ridiculous.
I I just want to see this. I want you to do it so bad. Oh my God.
If female content creators acted like male content creators.
Hilarious. I love it. I love a good series. That'd be
It's,
great.
it's just like MJF leaning over a whole bunch and
Well, be careful because Luna got flagged for that one.
really? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she did. Oh, she didn't even say ass. She said like a dumper. That's what it was. He's got a dumper on.
How come, like, when pigs make like the grossest comments and I
Mm-hmm.
report them and they're like, we found no issues with this. How
Mm-hmm.
come that happens when people are like outright being like either racist, misogynistic, homophobic, but then she jokingly calls it a dumper and gets flagged? Are you serious?
Right. In my area, like in my geographical location, we call them dupas.
Dupas?
Yep, dupas. You got your
I always
dupa out.
reminds me of fupa.
Kinda, yeah. I think it's Polish. Dupa's got to be either Polish or Italian. It's got to be.
I do always say dumpy because I think it's hilarious and it almost sounds like one of the seven dwarfs or something.
It's just a dwarf with a gigantic ass.
Or he's got an ass face. He just walks in. Look, it's a dumpy.
Oh, God. See, I was going with like a cute little dwarf with like MJF's ass. But no.
I just went ass face dwarf.
Going two different directions with that one, literally.
Oh.
Alrighty. Do you have anything else to add to this? Other than Tony Khan, do it.
Do it. You know what? I didn't want to touch on it in the moment because I didn't want to derail us. I was trying to stay focused and give the women their roses. But since we kind of talked about other AEW related things, we touched on Kip Sabian a little bit there. And I just want to say I think he is so damn underutilized and underrated.
Yeah.
And one of his best friends in real life is Will Ospreay.
Yes.
So I'm really hoping that with him getting a foot in the door at AEW, that maybe if Will Ospreay's in Tony's ear, or maybe they could even do like a tag run in AEW, that'd be sick. I don't know.
Him just wanting to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the photos that he shared on social media of the two of them.
Adorable.
Yeah, like the emo hair.
I was gonna say the emo bros.
Oh yeah. I was just like, oh, you're so cute. We did little emo babies.
I loved it. I love it. I love seeing little emo kids grow up, you know?
I just want to see them do like like the family things where they do like for parents or something, siblings will take and do like they'll recreate childhood photos. Those two should just do that with all of their old emo ones.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have anything else you'd like to throw out there into the universe?
No, this was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun, and I think especially with all the negativity that we're both drowning in on Wrestle Talk. Or I shouldn't even say that because like a lot of my feed wasn't that. Like I don't even know where the drama initially started, and I don't want to know. But yeah, it's just not. It was nice to do something fun for a bit.
I agree.
And I hope that we get to see some of our matches someday soon.
I want that tables, ladders, chairs match now.
Me too. I also like the battle royal idea is so good. Like
yes.
The street match I could live without, but or the street fight, but that's just the blood.
Yeah, I'm always shocked every year at Double or Nothing because they always do the Casino Battle Royale match. I think that would be so sick to actually have women participate in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They did have a women's one, right? I feel like Ruby was in that. Isn't that where she came out? She was the Joker? She debuted?
Oh, for her
2 years ago?
Maybe.
Unless I'm imagining it. And I dreamed it up, but I feel like that's how she debuted.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I don't think I saw that one, to be honest. I need to go back and watch some of the older ones.
Oh. Now I'm second guessing myself.
I have not seen every AEW pay-per-view. I need to go back and watch them all.
Yeah, I went back and I watched all of them. So many great, like, excellent. But at any rate, we will wrap it up. As always, in the name of our Lord and Savior.